Hello and welcome to Funded Futures. My name is Emily Macfarlane. I am your host, and today I'm joined by David Cummins, who is the founder and managing director of Future Property Group, which is a company that specialises in regenerative bungalows. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Emily. Thanks for having me.
So we met a few weeks ago, actually, when you pitched at a competition that I was hosting, and what really struck me was your incredible story of how you came up with the concept of Future Property Group. Can you tell everybody what it was?
It's a little bit embarrassing, but yeah, I'm happy to
share. It's not embarrassing at all. I was blown
I almost
away.
drowned, so yeah.
But you didn't.
I didn't drown.
That's what's important.
Yeah. So Future Property Group, it actually came around from a surf trip in the Maldives a few years ago. So it was very much just 20 guys, and it was just surfing, beer and pizza for a whole week, which is just phenomenal.
Sounds iconic.
It was amazing. And basically one morning we got up, jumped on a boat and went to a surf break called Ninjas. Ninjas is known for a big wave surf. And me being just so excited with the guys, was very much unplanned that day, jumped on a wave, and literally when you jump on a big wave like that, you do feel like you're falling. But in this situation, I actually was falling.
Oh my God.
And I was falling all the way down, and it's very much a coral reef. So when that happens, the water sweeps away. You literally see the coral that you're about to get smashed up against, and landed on the coral, completely got smashed. My leg rope broke. I was actually stuck under the wave for quite a while. Couldn't work out why I was actually stuck under the wave, and then I realized that my leg rope had broken and I was actually stuck under a rock. So I was actually held under the wave for quite a while.
How long can you hold your breath for?
Long enough to freak out, to realize that I can't hold my breath much longer. And then realized very quickly that I just had to unlock my leg rope, jump to the surface. My board was broken. Got literally caught in a rip and swept out to a island. And from there, I was actually stuck on an island, bloodied, bruised, and coughing up water for quite a while. So that's where Future Property Group was discovered, actually, yeah.
Tell me more. So you got to this island. You didn't die.
Didn't die.
You're cut up. Which freaks me out because I have a huge phobia of sharks.
Sharks aren't in that type of water, so
thank God,
because it's hot, so
okay.
It's okay. Yeah, so I knew I wasn't going to get eaten.
Okay,
but yeah.
I mean, I've seen The Island. You know when the guy gets his leg bitten off.
No.
Okay.
Is it a movie?
Leonardo DiCaprio, classic.
No, I haven't seen it. You mean The Beach?
Oh my gosh, I mean The Beach. Okay, that was a faux pas, but we'll just move on past that.
Okay.
So you got to this island, then what?
So then literally bloody and bruised. My mates didn't find me for about an hour plus for the boat to come rescue me. So I luckily had all this time to discover the island, and there, what changed me, what I saw there changed me for life. So literally there was this independent community that had been around for eons, as you'd imagine. It was literally a community made of nature. So bamboo huts, leaves for roofs, independent water systems, and everyone literally surrounded by nature in a nature positive environment. Okay. So what I discovered was when I was walking around is how happy everyone was because of the connection to nature, or biophilia. So that's where people feel connected to nature and connected to the earth.
Okay.
So what I realized then is there a way to learn from lessons of the past where people can actually live with nature as opposed to against nature, to learn how the environment can not only protect us but protect the environment, and where people can actually learn where the construction and property sector can not only take away from but actually heal us. So that's where we discovered Future Property Group, learning from the past to help our future.
Okay. I mean, because obviously there's been significant advancements since huts were around, right? And we're living in them, and it's great to hear that they had water systems and sewage systems and so on and so forth. What do you think going back to where we started is going to teach us?
Well, the property sector is actually responsible for 40% of carbon emissions in the world,
wow.
which is a crazy number, and 12% of that is due to poor building materials.
Okay.
I feel like there is an easier, more egotistical way to build where people can build quicker and smarter and faster without actually caring about the environment, because the construction industry is very much run on time, cost, quality. But what we do at Future Property Group is we make sure sustainability is one of those priorities. And so our number one priority will always be sustainability.
Right.
Then we go quality, then we go cost, and then we go time, where we actually don't rush. When you rush, there is risk, and when you plan, that it is perfect. So what we've really done is just have a evidence-based approach as opposed to an egocentric approach to our designs, where we can learn from the past, we can build to higher building standards, where we know that what we build today will help our future, as opposed to just the short-term gains of financial benefits and also quick builds.
Okay. So I don't know if this is a correlation, but traditionally speaking, the construction sector has been ruled by men. And also, they say statistically that it's women majority who care about the environment. So if there's something that somebody's trying to sell that has a sustainability element, they know that they're mostly going to be marketing it towards women. Do you think that that's why the construction industry has just gone down the route of cheaper, faster, getting buildings up and running versus going down that sustainability route?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. The construction, I've been building for 20 plus years. So one of my last jobs was the National Director of Construction and Development. And for years I've been pushing the importance of sustainability, because what we do know is if people make it as a number one priority, especially from a leadership position, you can actually reduce the operational cost by about 86 to 90% if you have about 10% of the total construction cost dedicated to sustainability initiatives.
Okay.
Which is hard to do. So the business cases are always done, generally, you're right, by the white old, straight male who have been dominating this industry for so long. Yes, there are females in the construction industry, but not enough. But generally speaking, those white old, straight males will generally find the quickest, fastest way to build to benefit themselves.
Right.
I have an issue with that personally, because I've been dealing with that for 20 years. The fact of the matter is the construction industry is the second least innovative industry behind fishing, both dominated by white old straight males, and both who are literally run, in my opinion, by their ego and by their back pocket to benefit today, to benefit tomorrow, but not necessarily look at that whole life cycle approach where it could actually benefit generations. So what we have done is, opposed to have an egocentric approach, we have an evidence-based design approach where we have got literally world-leading professors. We have got the Living Building Challenge. We have literally looked at the research and found out better ways to design. Yes, it's taken longer to design. Yes, it's been more challenging, but it's been way more rewarding to have a team of 50 plus people dedicated to how we can actually improve the property sector's carbon footprint. That carbon footprint of 40% isn't a law of nature. It's not like gravity. It's just a statistic. So there's no reason we can't challenge that and change that. Yes, money will come eventually, but we need to challenge each other and better each other to literally protect our future.
It's a terrifying concept that, we're going into a future where you and I might not be alive in 50 years' time because the planet might not be here because of the way that we're operating. How do you get people to listen to your mission and your vision and get them on board? Yeah,
it's taken about 3 years to get the right team. We personally, and me personally, have got very strong values. The research again supports that a value-driven organisation and a value-driven person, when connected with other value-driven people, will have project success. In actual fact, the research shows that a value-driven organisation has 10 times more likely opportunity to have financial success than an unvalue-driven organisation. So that's what the research shows, and that's by Fred Kaufman from Argentina. And a few other people, actually. So it wasn't actually that, it was a little bit hard, but it wasn't impossible. The way I see it is when two snowflakes come together, you can actually make an avalanche. Finding those people, once you've found them, it was actually quite easy. But to try and find them and sift through those people that are not necessarily value aligned for this industry and not necessarily research driven was a little bit hard. But once we've found them, again, we've got a team of 50. We have not made one mistake, not one financial mistake in this. One of our values is to plan with precision. And if you rush, there is risk. And if you plan, it is perfect. And we have not made one mistake so far, and it has gone very well. So again, taken a little bit longer, but time is our number 4 priority. Sustainability is our number 1. The research again supports if you have a leader that prioritises sustainability, to which generally speaking, most other people, about 70% of people want to be more green, but if they don't have that leadership on direction and KPI, then it won't work. So once you have that leadership there set in, then everyone will go towards that goal. So that's what we do.
Right. So has that always been your mission to ensure that you're a values-based company, values first, when you started the company?
100%. So having dealt with the construction industry for over 20 years, and one could argue dealt with many situations if not been value driven. We've all been in those offices and we've all been in those workplaces where they've got the values on the board, when in actual fact, when times go tough and people throw away their values.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
For me, values are there to anchor you in the storm and to ground you when times are good. I find it very annoying when people are not value driven. They might just have values on the board and just not live by their values. They generally have living by their financial gain or their back pocket or their personal gain or their ego. So we've had a few tough situations, but our values have always guided us. And even one of our architects who's been around for about 40 plus years said, I've never actually seen a client be driven by their values. And that's based on the Disney model, where the Disney model will literally spend weeks in their orientation, not seconds, weeks on their orientation, discussing values. So if there is a conundrum, they know whether to turn left or right based on the hierarchy of values. So that's where that comes from.
It's similar to the Ben and Jerry's.
Correct.
Yeah, they've got
Correct.
a really strong value set, and that's
Correct.
what they built the whole company
Correct.
off.
Yeah, correct. So again, the research supports a value-driven organisation is successful. There's just not many examples of that in Australia and the world at the moment.
Yeah. So I know you're super passionate about empowering women in the workplace. How do you, instead of just talking the talk, how do you walk the walk?
So, for example, we've got a project team of 50. In that project team of 50, we've got 4 white, old, straight males. Again, the research supports that diversity and inclusion is extremely important to have not only different points of opinion, but if you have one persona, whether it's all female or male or what have you, you do get groupthink. So that diversity was extremely important. So we've even gone to the point now where we've got our major work builder. Our major work builder is our prefab builder, who is a male, and we've got our minor works builder who is all female. So that includes our plumbers and carpenters. So it was a very deliberate approach for that to make sure we have female representation.
Okay, that's really interesting. So obviously you're trying to raise capital to grow the business. What have you found to be the hardest part about raising capital?
The hardest part about raising capital, I think just getting that message across, because we are actually having a world first nature positive design bungalow. So that's based on the Living Building Challenge. We've partnered with the World Health Organization. We're doing some work potentially with the United Nations as well. Everyone likes the idea of it, but because it's so rare and unique, getting that message across has been quite challenging. A lot of people think it's just a prefab building, and prefab in itself has got a yuck factor name, especially in Australia, for many reasons. Because I was speaking to one state government the other day and they're like, we just have to get them out, we have to get them out quickly, with no concept or consideration for the environment. So when we come in, we say, actually, we can do this. There is a better way for people to actually understand that there is a better way that isn't in theory anymore. It's not in textbook. It is in practicality. I think just that understanding. So that's why we're doing a 12-month study with the University of Technology Sydney and the World Health Organization to have empirical data to prove our concept. And again, research is really important to us, not our ego.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you explain a little bit of how these regenerative bungalows work and how you have come up with this concept to ensure that they're not, just lowering your carbon emissions, but they are regenerative, truly.
So my background is actually I'm a physiotherapist. So
you wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, a few. Well, I'm still a physio, still registered, but I will not look at your shoulder. Anything like that. So basically, as a physiotherapist, we've always been taught, what does the research say? So whether it's a hot pack for 20 minutes or 25 minutes, a cold pack for 10 minutes versus half an hour. So we will always be guided by research. The health sector is very important, very good with that. The construction industry is not necessarily research driven. It's more ego driven. I've done this in the past, so it's going to be done this way.
Right.
So all I did is just apply those principles from physiotherapy, found some world leading professors in green homes, sustainable homes, biosolar roofs, sustainable materials, and just found these amazing professors from UTS. Literally been speaking to them for a few years now. I said, your research is supporting this. They're like, yeah. I'm like, well, where's the practical example? They're like, it doesn't exist. So all I found was get these professors and make it a practicality.
Okay.
So the research shows, again, there's a 15 to 20 year gap between research coming out and being commercially viable. All we're doing is just short circuiting that gap in that time frame. So that's how we're so innovative, and it's how we're world first, because we've just got the professors and making it commercially viable.
Okay. So can you describe to people, I'm sure I can add some links in the show notes as to what it's going to look like, what these bungalows kind of look like, how they operate, and why they are just so innovative compared to the designs that are out there today.
Yeah, so we're building to the world's most rigorous building standard and sustainable standard called the Living Building Challenge. There is 6-star, Green Star, Neighbours Wellness rating. So the Living Building Challenge is the most rigorous to design and build for. We've just become a world first registration for caravan parks, for bungalows, and for residential.
Okay.
There's only 20 buildings in Australia that have this registration and accreditation. So we've been building to that. So that's how that's happened. The way it works is we've actually got a global patent now for a biosolar roof. A biosolar roof is a solar panel and a green roof that actually increases the efficiency of the solar panel by about 25 to 60% because the reflection is less because it's absorbed by the green roof.
Right.
We've got green walls, and we've actually got a special waterfall green wall as well. So that adds double insulation. It also adds biophilia. It actually reduces the variance of temperature control for the building as well. So therefore the need to have operational mechanical loads there is reduced. We've got special sensors in all the doors and windows, because what traditionally happens in some houses, especially in caravan parks, is people in winter will turn on the heater all day, leave the window open, and then come back. So again, 86% of operational cost is due to mechanical. So we've actually got all these smart sensors to help with that. And the air quality as well is improved because we've got so much greenery. So these are the 5 main principles that we anticipate to prove in our 12-month study. We just need to get them built. And so, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So when you say green, you don't mean the colour green. You mean that the walls are actually plants.
Yeah, we're literally making its own ecosystem throughout.
That is insane.
Yeah, so it goes really well. So it sort of looks like a hobbit house in the sense that it's
Cute.
literally surrounded by greenery. And again, just because it doesn't exist doesn't mean you can't build it. It's just a little bit harder to do, but we've got the right team.
And so currently, how much do you project that it's going to cost to build one of these bungalows?
To build or to sell?
I mean, bit of column A, bit of column B.
Yeah, so we'll make a profit. So, but we'll be selling them for about $280,000, which is actually
not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah, the state governments are pretty happy with that. So it's actually not the most expensive. It's certainly not the cheapest, but a lot of companies, especially prefab, will actually say this is how much it costs plus extra. So they always add sustainability. The research again supports that most people would not go that extra over. So all our sustainability features are included, and so that's how we get around it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually used to work for an experiential marketing agency, which was traumatic, and we used to do big builds for events or just pop-ups, things like that, and they would cost upwards of 300,000, 400,000. Ones that we did for the Grand Prix would be between $2 and $3 million for a 4-day event.
Wow.
And you can imagine how unsustainable
Correct.
that is.
Yeah.
And it just boggles my mind. And it's interesting, it's these companies who say we're working towards a sustainable future, and working behind the scenes, it just goes to show that, the consumer isn't really educated on this. They'll see that, there's some writing on some packaging that says we believe in the future of the planet. How do we educate consumers to show them that, a lot of these companies aren't super sustainable? What you're working towards is sustainable. How do you say you should be investing in your future by investing in companies like mine versus investing in the L'Oreals of the world?
Yeah, I find it quite interesting, especially like some supermarkets, I won't say who, they claim they're carbon neutral, yet all their fridges and freezers are open all the time. I'm like, well, how is that possible? You can't keep claiming that. And they go into the murky, dark world of carbon credits as well. So, especially like other big companies, they just say, oh, we're carbon neutral. I'm like, you're not carbon neutral. Like, you're using a truck that's diesel, So for us, it's really important that we do have that evidence-based design. It's important that we do have that empirical data. It's important that we've got partnered with universities like UTS to actually publish data, and that's where the World Health Organization will come into it as well. So I do find that a lot of people greenwash and say certain things, whether it's superannuation firms or big companies, whether food companies or supermarkets. So it is very, very, very hard. It is very hard. I guess you have to just do your own research, but that's why, again, our values are so important, because that's the world we do not want to go into. Some of our competitors are claiming such things, but you just do a little bit of digging and there's no way they could be claiming those things. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the claiming part is really interesting, because not a lot of people are fact-checking, doing their due diligence and all of that. I saw a post on LinkedIn the other day, and it was basically this guy saying, I got a job because I said on my LinkedIn that I had a degree from Harvard University. No one checked. Everybody just believed it. And I just thought to myself, if the everyday person is lying, I mean, I would never lie on my CV because I have a phobia of getting in trouble. And I just couldn't deal with the mortification of somebody finding out that I lied. Yeah. But if everyday people are lying about their background, their qualifications, why wouldn't big businesses lie? Who's going to check?
I'm sure it's more of a stretch testing exercise. I'm sure someone in legal has done some form of stretch testing, but I'm sure there's a little asterisk there as well, because again, like supermarkets with fridges open and there's several hundred of them around Australia, like how can you be carbon neutral and protect the planet when you're wasting that much energy so people can get access to beef?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I know a lot of people who work in the agriculture industry, and they talk about sustainable farming and how much waste is produced because farmers reject perfectly good fruit, vegetables and the like because it doesn't fit aesthetic standards. And we live in this world where I think that we're sold an artificial reality, essentially. I think what you're trying to give back to the world is something really unique and taking us back to our roots. And I think that that's really important. What do you think is the most important thing that we can learn from our ancestors and how they lived, and that we've perhaps lost over all of these years?
I think just keep it simple. Like, again, in a lot of architecture magazines, they're talking about the importance of these super glazed windows, which is great, and to have double glazed windows is fantastic, but what happened to greenery? Like, the earth is meant to be green. It's not meant to be glass. It's not meant to be steel. So I don't know why we can't actually just embrace more nature and have that added benefit of biophilia and the added benefit of greenery. Like, who doesn't feel happier when you're surrounded by greenery? Of course you do. So that's, the benefit of biophilia, even to the point where schools and hospitals and prisoners have got all these amazing clinical outcomes by having more access to nature.
Right.
So I think we just need to embrace the fact that we are meant to be green. We are meant to be a regenerative planet, and we need to actually give back to the land more than take away from it. That's actually what we need to do. So because we live in a home doesn't mean we can't be empowered by our home. Doesn't mean we can't actually have more greenery. So literally at our core, what we're trying to do is empower communities to make sure that they feel happy and safe by giving back to the earth through the place where they live.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So obviously you've been in the construction industry for such a long time, and you say that your company itself hasn't made any mistakes necessarily. What mistakes have you seen from the construction industry that have taught you the most?
I would say Future Property Group is literally a culmination of everything that's gone wrong in my career. And when I say I haven't made mistakes, I haven't made any financial mistakes. Of course, challenges arise, but all within normal variance. But what normally happens is a business case is created by someone who probably has never stepped foot on a construction site realistically. The business case is made, someone has signed it off, no one has thought about certain things or latent conditions or challenges or deliveries or neighbourhoods or whatever it may be. It's very much a narrow point of view. And when it gets down the line, the business case is signed off by the board or by the financial team. When you look at the program in depth, you realise there's a big mistake. Someone will then blame someone else, who will blame the architects, who will blame the builder, and then lawyers get involved. I've seen it so many times where people keep on kicking the blame down the path, when in actual fact, if the primary person or the business case people had A, prioritised sustainability, B, actually consulted a bit more, but they haven't because they've been rushing. It all comes down to rush.
Yeah.
If you plan, it's perfect. If you rush, there's risk. So many times have I built hospitals And when health planners are involved, very little risk. When health planners are not involved, things go wrong. So I think it's really important that we do take that extra time to plan, because overall you'll have a lot more benefits.
Yeah, right. When you're talking about this, all I can think about is the block.
Oh, yeah.
When you're saying rushing a build, and it just stresses me out so much.
I assume there's mistakes on that. I've never seen it. Yeah.
You've never seen the block?
No, I don't watch TV.
No way.
No.
Oh, I feel like it would really trigger you watching the block.
It probably would.
Yeah, because everything is so rushed. And
then they make mistakes, do they?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Or things aren't built to code.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
That sustainability is really...
It goes out the window straight away.
100%. Like it's never even considered.
Yeah, because it's not the number one priority. So if it's the number one priority, everyone builds to it. And if it's not a priority from the leadership team, no one will build to it, as much as they might want to. And then at some point in time when they're coming out of the ground, they talk about, or even finishing design, they say, what about sustainability? And like one hospital group I was working for at one point, their number one sustainability principle in the annual report was that there was a sticker to remind everyone at the light switch called Mrs. Sparky to turn off their lights.
You're lying.
No, it was only a few years ago. Like, ridiculous. So that's like how far behind we are in the world of sustainability, because it's not the number one priority. Everyone likes the idea of it. Everyone talks about it in their board meetings, but on the ground it isn't actually there. So that's why it's a number one priority for us.
I grew up around sustainability. My dad is actually an electrical engineer and started a company called Energy Conservation Systems Australia that got bought out by Schneider Electric. And its main aim was to try to make large-scale buildings more energy efficient. And a lot of the time their pitches got kicked out because they were so much more expensive. And all of these hospitals, big businesses, schools, they don't care about sustainability.
Because it's not part of their KPIs.
Yeah.
Because again, leadership. So again, the research supports the number one reason why sustainability isn't embraced isn't because of money. It's actually leadership.
Right.
Money is a factor, but unless you've got that leadership team prioritising sustainability, but again, the research is supporting, why would they support sustainability when someone, the next board, in 5+ years' time, 5 to 7 years' time, gets the benefit? Why would they blow their budget and not get their bonus? Yeah. Because again, it's that short-term egocentric thinking where why would I do this when someone's going to get the benefit? Where we literally have the premise and the purpose, we're going to benefit the next generation. That's what we're going for. It's the future that we're looking for, hence Future Property Group. So again, there's so many issues wrong with the leadership team of today only prioritising their own back pocket, because you're 100% right. It is going to cost more. The benefit is going to be in a few years' time, but they're not going to see the benefit. Only the future or the next board or the next CEO is going to get the benefit. Yeah. And that's one of the problems.
So if you could kind of summarise your advice to leaders in companies, what would it be in a sentence or two?
I think you have to prioritise sustainability. It has to be the number one, and you have to make sure that you lead through sustainability to make sure your whole team understands that as a KPI. Because when you don't, and when you don't think about when your business case isn't mentioning it and you don't have that sustainability budget, things are going to fall at the wayside. And as much as you like the idea of it, unless you prioritise it day one in concept phase, or even in concept phase, it won't actually have the benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. So for Future Property Group, what does the next 12 to 24 months look like?
So we just finished our 10-year financial modelling with KPMG, which is phenomenal. It took us 8 months. So very excited with the next 10 years of what we need to achieve from a KPI point of view. Currently, we're raising funds to build our prototype. So we've been self-funded to date. Wow. So I've got literally no money, it's just water and green tea diet at the moment. So we're going to raise some funds, build our prototypes. The prototype will be part of a 12-month study with the World Health Organization and UTS as well. And then from there, our main clients, our main industries we're selling to eco-villages, retirement, Indigenous communities, caravan parks, and mining towns. So we've got quite strong interest from all of them already, which is great. And then we just continue to build and build. At one point, we have our own manufacturing plant in Victoria and then another one in Queensland. And we do have a 10-year exit strategy planned already, to which our PR team and our marketing team are already strategizing that now for the 10-year exit in a few years' time.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
David, thank you so much for coming on and having a chat. I think that Future Property Group for me is such an exciting prospect. I talk to a lot of founders about businesses and I can't necessarily picture it in my mind, but it feels really real and tangible, and it's so exciting.
Thank
and
you.
I love what you're doing
Thank you.
as a founder. So thank you so much for coming and having a chat to me, and good luck with the future.
Thanks for your support.